But you can hear me very well, yes? Uh-huh. My great pleasure. My great pleasure. Yes. So we can start. Yes? Okay. And you can record. Most welcome. Yes? Yes. So a few months after the election of the Paul Karol Wojtyła to the Holy See in June 1979, John Paul II's first pilgrimage to his homeland took place. Millions of Poles who took to the streets saw that they were the majority, felt the nation's strength, and had a leader. In Poland at that time, John Paul II spoke on behalf of the nation. This touch opened the deeply rooted national sovereignty. In the Middle Age, faced with the aggression of the Teutonic Knights against Poland, Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia, Paweł Włodkowicz, a Polish scholar, priest, statesman and the rector of the Kraków Academy, as the head of the Polish delegation, addressing the Pope at the Council of Constance in 1414, proposed the application of the doctrine of national sovereignty. John Paul II knew the spirit of the Polish nation. As Soviet analysts noted, the visit led to the creation of dual power in Poland. The communist regime, which built its rule on fear, found itself under defensive. Thus, this religious leadership also had a political dimension. During the Cold War, it was a spark from Poland that warmed the hearts and minds of people in Poland and later in other countries to oppose the tyranny of communism based on human solidarity, peace, social justice and faith. The ice of the Cold War began to crumble. During the communist era, when the authorities sought to dominate all aspects of social life, the Catholic Church played a key role as a platform for resistance to the communist regime, and the clergy became a symbol of steadfastness. The primate of Poland, blessed Cardinal Stefan Wyszyński, through his stance, sought to maintain the unity of the Catholic Church and defend its values, strengthening Poles' morale. His arrest in 1953 became a symbol of the fight against totalitarianism. On August 26, 1956, at the Jasna Góra Sanctuary, with 1 million people in attendance, the Jasna Góra vows of the nation were solemnly professed. Bishop Michał Klepacz, acting chairman of the Polish episcopate, read the vows. White and red flowers, the colors of Poland, were placed on the chair reserved for the primate. Over the years, the church gained importance as an institution defending human rights and religious freedom. It increasingly became a place where society could express dissatisfaction with the government and its aspiration for a better life. In this way, Catholicism played a key role in building national and social identity, becoming a space for resistance and hope. In these difficult times, the Catholic Church was an institution that provided not only spiritual but also material assistance to families repressed by the authorities. Cultural and educational events were organized to recall national traditions, strengthening identity, and the clergy often defended the persecuted, becoming the voice of those unable to assert their rights. In Central and Eastern Europe, and particularly in Poland, Catholicism was a key element of national identity, providing the foundation for cultural and spiritual distinctiveness from the communist ideology that promoted atheism. The church was perceived as the guardian of traditional values, a moral anchor and a force that mobilized society in opposition to regime. Catholicism has been deeply intertwined with the nation's history, culture for centuries. Thank you. Thanks. Solidarność perfectly, yes, solidarność, solidarity, solidarność, yes, pronunciation perfect. We have maybe half Polish. Yes, solidarność. Thank you so much. Wonderful pronunciation. The Catholic Church, John Paul II, and the Solidarność movements are so intertwined that it's challenging to imagine Polish history without them. The Catholic Church was a space of freedom and dignity in the fight against the communism system. The Catholic Church under John Paul II leadership played a vital role. The Pope mobilized entire generations to action, culminating in the creation of Solidarność, solidarity movement that united people around ideal of freedom. In August 1980, the Pope blessed the strike, and that was a turning point. It was then that the strikers, tyrants, and discouraged received moral support that gave them strength. As events unfolded, the Pope's voice became decisive for the episcopate. His letter to Primate Wyszyński, in which he wrote, "I pray that the Polish episcopate, with its primate, will help its nation in its hard struggle for daily bread, for social justice, and for the protection of its unviolable rights," was the impetus for the bishops to support the idea of forming free trade unions for the first time. A few days later, Solidarity was born in Gdańsk. After the birth Solidarity, the Pope saw it not only as a Polish phenomenon, but also as a universal example. In January 1981, receiving a Solidarność delegation at the Vatican, he spoke of a search to raise the morality of society. He emphasized the responsibility of working people for the fate of their homeland. This meeting was later described as a small treaty on the moral principles of solidarity, solidarność. John Paul II emphasized the human rights to freedom. He also stressed the dignity of man in his work and the value of that work, that completely changing the perspective that the communists had attempted to impose. He provided solidarity, solidarność, with moral fuel and energy. Solidarity was brutally suppressed, but the spirit of resistance endured. During his pilgrimage in 1983, John Paul II addressed the nation again, sustaining hope and faith that the path to freedom was not close. On October 1984, Jerzy Popiełuszko, a Polish Roman Catholic priest and the chaplain of the Warsaw Solidarity Movement, was martyred by officers of the security service. He is now blessed. He based his pastoral work on teaching on the message, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. The Catholic Church provided moral strength and the belief that one could change the fate of one's country peacefully through solidarity, solidarność. Despite repression, solidarity remains a non-violent movement. Thanks to this, the process of change in Central and Eastern Europe was achieved without a bloody civil war. September 17, 2025 marks the 45th anniversary of the founding of Solidarity, Solidarność. The Catholic Church and John Paul II awakened a sense of dignity in Poles, teaching them that freedom begins within and can be achieved not with a gun, but through solidarity, solidarność. Solidarity completely transformed the face of the communist world at the time. It provided that it was precisely through inner freedom that geopolitical change could be achieved internationally. John Paul II words, let your spirit descend and renew the face of this land, spoken in Warsaw on June 2nd, 1979, on Victory Square during his first pilgrimage, profoundly impacted social mobilization against communism. They also provided prophetic. 10 years later, on June 4th, 1989, communism fell in Poland, initiating the process of communism fall in other countries and ending the Cold War. The very appearance of the Pope Apollo on Polish soil was a symbolic act that strengthened the nation's sense of national and religious identity. Among other things, the oft-repeated words, do not be afraid, freedom is a gift, became key to Polish identity. Three encyclicals logically challenge the foundation of communism ideology, stripping it of its moral legitimacy and exposing its exploitation. Encyclical Redemptor Hominis from 1979, the first papal encyclical challenged communist foundation and ideology. Laborem Exercens from 1981 In it, the Pope argued that the communism system, supposedly on the side of working people, in reality led to even greater exploitation than capitalism. Sollicito Rei Socialis from 1987. This encyclical refuted the communist myth of progress and development, revealing its internal contradictions and injustice. The pontificate of the Polish Pope proved to be one of the most important factors that changed the course of events in Poland and initiated the processes leading to the fall of communism throughout Central and Eastern Europe. The opposition's success in Poland provided a significant impetus to other Eastern Bloc countries, demonstrating that peaceful resistance was possible and could lead to substantial change, inspiring opposition movements in Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and East Germany. Before Wojtyła was elected Pope, the communist authorities sought to subordinate and control the church in Poland through surveillance and interference in its internal affairs. The communist authorities in Poland pursued a policy of combat against the church, striving for its complete subordination and control. The church, including its hierarchs, such as Cardinal Wojtyła, was under constant surveillance by the security service. The authorities attempted to impose their policies and influence the decisions of the church hierarchy. The election of a Polish cardinal as a pope was an immense symbolic significance, giving Poles a sense of strength and hope for change. John Paul II actively supported movements striving for democracy, which had a key impact on the fall of communism in Poland and Central and Eastern Europe. John Paul II pontificate strengthened the church position and influence on social life, becoming a place of refuge and support for those persecuted by the regime. John Paul II inspired independent initiatives, and his pilgrimage to Poland were critical historical moments arousing national pride and mobilizing society. Immediately after Karol Wojtyła was elected Pope in 1978, he said, "This Polish Pope would not be on the chair of Peter if it were not for your faith." Addressed to the Cardinal Stefan Wyszyński, these words underscore of the primate's role in sustaining the spirit of the Polish nation during the communist era and the significance of his faith in the context of Karol Wojtyła's subsequent election as Pope. Cardinal Wyszyński led the Polish Church during the communist era, defending the faith and the nation, which was crucial to the survival of Polish identity. His stance, trust in the Mother of the Church and the heroic hope gave strength to the younger Karol Wojtyła, who was able to thrive in the spiritual atmosphere created by the primate. For most of his pontificate, the Pope, hailing from the Eastern Bloc, was perceived by the Soviets as a staunch anti-communist. Despite this, efforts were made to establish open relations. Just a year after his election in 1979, the new Pope met for the first time with the Soviet Minister of Foreign Affairs. Despite this, the opinion of John Paul II in Moscow remained unchanged. For the communists, he was dangerous. He meant the possible destruction of the Eastern Bloc. Therefore, the Papal State was viewed with considerable hostility and even fear. Moscow considered military intervention in Poland. John Paul II personally wrote to the Soviet leader appealing for respect for the principles of peace. On May 13, 1981, an assassination attempt on John Paul II took place. And on December 13 of the same year, martial law was imposed in Poland. From the beginning of his pontificate, Moscow tasked its subordinate states, civilian and military intelligence agencies with investigating John Paul II, spying on, and if necessary, sabotaging the Holy See activities and exerting influence on the Pope inner circle. The Soviets launched operation under the name Capella, during which the intelligence service produced many documents revealing the Soviet Union's struggle with the Vatican during John Paul II's pontificate. So the fall of the Berlin Wall was the culmination of a long process, not its beginning. It was a symbolic event of the collapse of the communist system in Europe, but one that was triggered by earlier movements in Poland and the fall of communism in that country, in Poland, a few months earlier. This long-term activity of the Catholic Church played a key role in creating the environment that enabled the emergence of the mass movements that led to the events of 1989. The fall of the Berlin Wall was a complete surprise to the West German authorities. On November 9, 1989, German Chancellor Helmut Kohl visited Poland. That same day, during the meetings in Warsaw, the Chancellor learned of the opening of the borders in East Germany, which led to the fall of the Berlin Wall. With these historic events, Kohl was forced to cut short his visit and briefly return to Germany to be present in his homeland at such a crucial moment. John Paul II, Ronald Reagan, and Margaret Thatcher strongly opposed communism, which destroyed human dignity and freedom. They expressed a shared opposition to totalitarianism and support for the Polish Solidarity movement. However, they represented different approach to the fight against communism. For John Paul II, human dignity had a spiritual dimension stemming from the dignity of a child of God. For Ronald Reagan, however, The source of human dignity were rooted in American principles of defending freedom and democracy. Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan emphasized that economic liberty and personal responsibility were essential to preserving individual freedom and dignity. They promoted a market economy. However, John Paul II not only criticized communism, he was also not an uncritical supporter of capitalism. He noted that uncontrolled materialism was another form of dehumanization. In the fight against communism, John Paul II represented a non-antagonistic approach and focused on moral and ethical resistance rather than military or economic confrontation. Margaret Thatcher concentrated on fighting against the broader collectivist philosophy. Ronald Reagan, on the other hand, used economic and military pressure. In 1986, Mikhail Gorbachev initiated the policy of perestroika, which encompassed economic modernization, increase civil liberties, reduce corruption, and improve relations with the West. That same year, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded. The 1986 Chernobyl disaster, by forcing the Soviet Union to be more transparent and critical of the Soviet system, accelerated Mikhail Gorbachev reforms, perestroika, reconstruction, and the glasnost, openness policy. Laboratories in Scandinavia detected radioactive plants, and the truth about the accident quickly spread around the world, forcing the authorities to disclose information. This attempt to conceal the truth sparked international outreach and undermined the credibility of the Soviet government, indirectly contributing to the collapse of the Soviet Union. The reforms of perestroika and glasnost ultimately failed to bring lasting improvements. By the late 1980s, the Soviet Union faced a deepening economic crisis with widespread shortage and deficit. Gorbachev leadership had lost credibility. His actions merely accelerated the disintegration of the Soviet Union. Perestroika largely backfired. It led to even greater disruptions, rising inflation, and self-storage of basic goods, fueling widespread social discontent. The public became increasingly aware of the economic gap between the Soviet Union and the West. Glasnost allowed the free flow of information and the public criticism for the first time. It led to shocking revelations about crimes, the cover-up of the Chernobyl disaster, and the true extent of the Soviet Union's deep-seated problems, significantly undermining the legitimacy of the Communist Party. Greater openness allowed long suppressed ethnic tensions and national ambitions to surface. Independence movements in republics such the Baltic states, Ukraine and Georgia gained momentum with citizens demanding self-determination. As Polish Pope John Paul II visited his homeland in 1979 to inspire a peaceful revolution of conscience, his support for Solidarność, an independent trade union, provided a moral and spiritual anchor for opposition to the communist government in Poland. The Pope widely publicized meetings with Soviet leaders, including Mikhail Gorbachev, symbolize a significant decline in Soviet control over the Eastern Bloc and the end of its philosophical conflict with the Vatican. Inspired by events in Poland, a wave of peaceful democratic revolution swept Eastern Europe in 1989. These popular uprisings toppled communist regimes and set a powerful example for the citizens of the Soviet Union, weakening Moscow's influence over its satellite states. Gorbachev's reforms were not the sole cause of the Soviet Union collapse, but rather the final element that tipped the scales. Gorbachev did not want the Soviet Union to collapse. Severe economic problems and the economic costs of the Cold War. His reforms acted as a catalyst, accelerating a process already underway due to internal decay and external pressure from movements like Solidarność, Solidarity, and leaders like John Paul II. Thank you so much. You are most welcome. You are most welcome. I will be more than happy to see you, physically, to meet you, hopefully, maybe in Peru. Oh, yeah, yes. Ah, with great pleasure. Yes, Anthony, yes, my great friend, family. And now you're my great friend and my family. Polska, yes, yes. Polska, yes, in Polish language. Your pronunciation perfect. Really, your pronunciation, I hear, I feel you're Polish. Water? Woda, yes, woda. Woda, yes, woda. Yes, and I'm sure that you know also Robert Lewandowski, football player. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Very, very important for our history. Very, very important person. Because he built, he gave power. Without Wyszyński, no Karol Wojtyła, no Pope. Yes, and Karol Wyszyński prepared the church and leaders and Karol Wojtyła to become really a leader. And Wyszyński huge role in Catholicism in Poland but we had a lot of very positive impulse. For example, to me also it was very important. Jerzy Popiełuszko, yes, and Jerzy Popiełuszko, he was a chaplain priest for Solidarity in Warsaw. uh, communist authority killed him in brutal way, yes, in brutal way. And but it was impulse for the people. In Polish mentality is if we're under threat, we're becoming more united, more powerful. Yes, when we feel in the difficult times under threat, direct threat, we're becoming more united, more strength, and less of any fear. Yes, and this mentality of Polish people, and if Soviet Union, Communist Party try to impact, implemented more threat, we become more powerful as a nation. More people in the church. I experienced during my years. Despite that martial law, I remember 13 December 1981 when communist government announced martial law, like on state of the law. I was born 39 kilometers only from Soviet Union. And we together, my three brothers and my father, mother, we over day we looking at our street because the tanks coming also, and looking more soldiers from Russia, will it be Soviet Union, Russia, Soviet Union soldiers, or today no. I remember that time, but in that time we're feeling, as I mentioned, that we are more powerful. We need more to protect our values, our tradition, our history, and the Catholic Church as a foundation of our state. Without Catholic Church, we don't have Poland. Really, it's very strong message. No Poland without Catholic Church. From the beginning of our history, more than 1,000 years as a state, Catholic Church is foundation. It support people, support our identity, support our national sovereignty, not only as a state sovereignty. Yes, Poland was before in 17th, 16th century was a European superpower, one of the largest countries in the world, then disappeared from European map for 123 years. We occupied, yes, by Germany, that time Russia, by Russia and Austria-Hungary. Even if it was very difficult time under Russian occupation, was not allowed to speak in Polish language, not allowed to have Polish schools. But we in such situation, 123 years, few generations, but in difficult time, we were very much organized. In secret way, we had Polish schools, cultural institution to conduct Polish language to remember, and we survived and we rebuilt our nation again. so, so his mentality and spirit of the nation, and all the time, Catholic Church give power, give strength, moral and political also power. Yes, not only to become as a political actor, but to protect human rights. And for me, it's extremely important. Yes, and as I mentioned, and for Yes, 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 yes. Yes, my great pleasure. I Mhm. Yes, 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 yes. Its foundation is, as I mentioned, we don't have Poland as a state without Catholic Church. It's Catholic Church that give a really spirit of the nation, and not only as a religion leadership, but as a from the beginning of our state, as a fundamental element of our identity. And all the time in our history, more than 1,000 years, Catholic Church give huge support, not only spiritual support, even material support in difficult time, regardless who is uh, believe in God and not believing, from which church, regardless, for all people, providing support. Yes, and our hundreds years, more than 1,000 years experience. Sisters. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Jasna Góra, yes, in Jasna Góra is very like spiritual capital of Poland. Jasna Góra Sanctuary, yes, yes, Black man, yes. Faustyna Kowalska, yes, yeah, Faustyna Kowalska, yes, great for mercy, yes, yes, from yes, his mission as a missionary of mercy of God, yes, yes, and every day 3 p.m. we have in Polish time we have special pray every day 3 p.m. in Poland in Kraków. In Kraków we have a special sanctuary of mercy of God, God of mercy, and of course Sister Kowalska, yes, Kowalska is, and Pope John Paul II was very important for John Paul II that he announced World Fest of Mercy of God. And he opened in 2000, 25 years ago, he opened special sanctuary in Krakow, uh, related to uh, mission of Sister Kowalska. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, very much I connected with also John Paul II because John Paul II became also as a missionary of mercy of God. Yes, and he announced for the rest of the world. Yes, yes. Um, uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Yes, Kraków. Yes. Uh, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes, because Poland, in the most time in our history, Poland was kingdom. Poland was kingdom, and as I mentioned, in the 16th century, 15 also started one of the largest kingdom in Europe, bigger than France, bigger than Spain, Poland. We stop Ottoman Empire ambition. We had in our history many times Russian ambition, expansion, and Ottoman Empire expansion. We stop. Yes, we stop this to protect Europe. Yeah, yes, and Krakow was the capital. The most time in our history, Krakow was the capital. So it's very heritage place. A lot of kings lived there. A lot of saints lived there. John Paul II was bishop of Krakow. Yes, and he was born not very far from Krakow, around 80 kilometers near to mountains, and around 80 kilometers from Krakow to the south. John Paul II, za Karol Wojtyła, was born. So it's a unique place, unique city, Krakow. Warsaw as a capital is modern, and Warsaw is different also because we had to completely rebuild our capital, Warsaw, because completely was destroyed. In the end of the Second World War, people killed, building destroyed, and we rebuilt from zero. And now it's very difficult to, from a spiritual point of view, and to feel heritage. Yes, we have also rebuilt a castle, royal castle in Warsaw, but it's just rebuilt. Yes, it's not old. In Krakow, you have a lot of old buildings, really old castles. Yes, in Warsaw, because again, completely destroyed, we rebuilt our capital, Warsaw. Yes, so it's and in Krakow, definitely you can touch spirit of the nation, of the country, history. Yes, original wall buildings. Again, I didn't hear. Nova. Nova would age. One moment. Okay. One moment. Yes. Again, could you repeat? N N O N O W. Yes. A H U T A. Ah, Nowa Huta in Poland. Yes. Ah, Nowa Huta. Okay. Uh, yes. Nowa Huta in Kraków. Yes, the Nowa Huta city created by communism government, communist authority. Nowa Huta, they created after the Second World as a model of new city. Nowa Huta is original is a communism concept to build new city, communist city without church. Yes. Ah, yes. Yes. Ye- Yes. To protest against the communism idea to create a new city that time very close to Krakow. Now is a part of Krakow, but that time after the Second World War, after downtown, after outside of the Krakow, as a idea, communist idea to build new city, communist city without church. Yes, and why people in Poland raise cross? Yes, that we are connected with Christianity, with religion. We don't want communism. We don't want any ideology without religion, without Christianity. Yes, it was the protest in the Nova Huta against communism idea to create, to build new city without church, without religion. Yes, so people protest and rise across. And the Bishop Karol Wojtyła was engaged also, was there. The mass and the celebrated mass, he celebrated mass also. Is yeah, yes, definitely, yes, yeah, yes, definitely, and definitely, and I'm sure I agree with you, and completely I agree. And Poland is last solution for Europe, for Europe, for Western also Europe, for European Union also. Uh, uh, become yes, definitely, and in different fields also. Also in terms of religion, of course, the strongest power in Europe, Catholicism, Catholic Church is in Poland. Um, Now, and European Union from beginning when Poland joined the European Union and before Poland joined the European Union, 1st of May 2004. By the way, I worked in the Office of Committee for European Integration 10 years as a specialist, senior specialist, then promoted as a chief specialist. I worked. They tried from internally. They tried to promote Western ideas, to lose religion in Poland, like McDonaldization, but Westernization is of Poland. And to some extent was successful, but to some extent. And finally people, and now also recently, consider that no, is against, is dehumanization, in fact. What John Paul II also mentioned about capitalism, yes, is dehumanization also. But in Europe, in different way, we have a lot of ideologies, yes, try to implement, so try to implement against, in fact, against of human being. So from a broader perspective even, but religion, Catholic Church is very important in Poland, as I mentioned from the beginning until now, to protect also human being, human being, because we have a lot of, yes, also in Western European countries, anti-human ideologies, yes, anti-human ideology, and trying to lose our connection with religion, with our spiritual life. However, in yes, Poland, we recognize definitely Poland is the last solution for Europe. For Europe, yes, to rebuild also Europe and based on the spiritual foundation, the Christianity foundation, as the Christianity as a foundation of Europe. And without Christianity, no Europe also. Yes. Migrate. Yes, yes. Yeah. Thank. Yes, with great pleasure. With great pleasure. If you can share a recorded our interview to me, would be great. If you can share with me, yes, our recorded interview, yes. Uh-huh. And Yes, and you're most welcome. I want to share, but I don't have an opportunity to share my screen. If you allow me to share screen, you can allow me share a screen. You can click uh, to allow me because no, not your screen to allow me to, sh- to allow me because it's not allowed. I want to attract your attention on my personal website and my research guide I want to share with you, but I cannot, the host isn't allowing sharing for this meeting. And now still sharing is not turn on, should be turn on to allow me maybe more when you click more. To allow share by me, by participant, to share, to allow me sharing, I think more participant, and here, if you, no, participant, no, but I think should be more. Now, no, I not allowing for me sharing. I cannot. Okay, don't worry. Uh, now that yes, now I can. Yes, now I can. I can. Yes, now I can. So I can now. Oh, no, this one moment. Oh, you can see Google, yes? You can see, yes, my screen, Google. But you can see Google, I share with you. But now, no, Google, Google. Ah, no, again. I think maybe again, one moment. Yes, my website. Here, Google. You can see Google? No? Yes. So when you put my name, you have, for example, access, you have my personal website. You, you can see, yes, about me here as ambassador and some information, but gallery also uh, about my mission in the UAE, but also so you have much more information about me also in my personal website. Here, by the way of the visit, Pope Francis visit in Abu Dhabi, I was engaged, and here is Pope Bishop Paul, the previous bishop. We exchanged books, my book, and Bishop Paul, Bishop of UAE Bishop, originally from Switzerland. He is, yes. Bishop Paul Hinder, previous bishop, yes, now retired, but still living in Abu Dhabi. But here you can see it's in Bishop House. In Bishop House, it was in 2019. In 2019, just before, at the beginning of 2019, before Pope Francis visit in Abu Dhabi, you can see still is John Paul II in Bishop Paul House in Abu Dhabi. Yes, here. Yes, and here my family, we had special special after Sheikh, the second row. I had special invitation for Pope Francis visit in Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi. Yes, and here my son, another son, my wife, my daughters, yeah, were in UK. So you can find more also information, some pictures about me, and you are most welcome. You have ResearchGate account, my research papers about Poland, Central Eastern Europe, but also a lot of about UAE. My ResearchGate account, yeah, when you put my name, ResearchGate, and you are most welcome to visit. Free of charge, you have access to my research here. Yes, yes, and you to my about sustainability, economic diversification, India, Middle East, Europe, economic corridors, and you have I just you can click and you have access to. It's free of charge, and you can download my research papers. So, yeah, and you have about my research papers. You're most welcome. Yes. And a lot of my research papers here available in the ResearchGate. When you just put my name in the ResearchGate, you have access to my all research papers. Yes. Thank you so much, and all the best. And it will be great if you can share record interview. Yes, recorded interview. Okay. Thank you so much, Andre. All the best. All the best. By the way, we also maybe I can find if you have time. I have a few minutes. I share with Antonio. Antonio, one moment. I will share. Maybe I will find something also extra for you. Something. And now here, one moment. Maybe I will find something. Come on. Different. One moment. Maybe I will find something new, some information. What I shared with Antonio a few months ago. About Sister Kowalska and yes, 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 and Krakow. Mm. Okay, maybe next time I will share with you. I will share with maybe next time I will share with you. Uh, yes, more information. I will share what I shared with Antonio a few months ago. It was special fest in Krakow related to Feast of Mercy, and we had special celebration, special mass, and during the mass, before election of Pope Leon, we sent to Peru from Krakow. One moment. I will share it with you maybe later. Uh, we sent the special bell, Mercy Bell, from Krakow, from our Mercy Sanctuary in Krakow to Peru. Special bell, and I had some picture and special and short video about a special mass in which we announced that we sent as a mercy bell. We sent to Peru from Poland, from Krakow, from Mercy Sanctuary. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I will share with you something because we have a lot of connection, by the way, between Poland and Peru, and we have a lot of people in the history of Peru. Yes, and building train network also in Peru. Some people from Poland came to around 200 years ago. Some Polish people came also to Peru and to build a train connection. Yes. Yeah. So thank you so much. All the best to you and to your family members. Uh, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Have a great night. Yes. Thanks so much.